Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind UK Season 1, Episode 5. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I will admit, I have watched Episode 6, and although I will not spoil, because we're all adults here, we can exercise some self-control, okay? What I will say is, some of y'all thought I was reaching on a few of my perception on things. But I was correct. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, keep the chat spoiler free. Let's get into episode 5. We start with, what do we start with? Benaiah and Nicole. Nicole, girl, what is going through your head? Because even though we got to see Benaiah, I'm pretty sure if we didn't see Benaiah, none of us would have thought that he would resemble Bob Marley.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I'm good.
A lot nicer than I imagined.
I thought you were Bob Marley. I don't want to say regret, but I instantly knew I made a mistake. I'm just so sorry. I just feel like I fucked up.
I've lost you once. I don't want to lose you again. I need you to stand up. Will you marry me?
Yeah.
My confusion with Nicole grows in this conversation because she says she chose Sam in part because she didn't believe what Benaiah was saying about him, but also because Sam was just emotionally intelligent and available and vulnerable. Really? Really? Are you sure? The man who had a tantrum, I mean, she didn't see the tantrum, but the man who had a tantrum after being shut down by Jasmine? Really? The man who would consistently beg you, I need to be loved. I've never been loved before. Please love me. Please respect me. Please, 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 please. That's emotionally intelligent? Really? The only grace I will give her is the fact that compared to Benaiah, Sam was more emotionally expressive. But to say intelligent, I don't know, sister. I don't know. Benaiah apologizes for the fact that he was shut off in the process, and he says that he's glad that things panned out the way that they did because it was the wake-up call that he needed. Now, I do agree. I hope that in the future, Benaiah can be a little bit more emotionally available, especially if you're signing up for a process that ends in marriage. You need to be able to bare your soul. I don't know if it's the fact that he's been on his own for so long. He's been single for, 11 years or something like that. He's not used to divulging that much in this romantic situation. Maybe he is, and I'm the one who's jumping the gun here. But from what we've been presented, it seems like he's been out of the relationship loop for a long time. So he needed a little bit of coaxing. But he has been coaxed out, okay? He has now proposed to Nicole. They're both happy. Good for y'all. I am still intrigued to see where this coupling goes. However, when it comes to lifestyle, I question the compatibility. Don't quite know if they'll be able to meld their lives together, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Speaking of stranger things happening, y'all said in the comments that Nicole has been on Come Dine With Me. Now, even though Come Dine With Me is literally just randos coming to your home, y'all cook meals, and then you vote for who had the best meal or something like that, she's not quite meeting the actress allegations for me personally, but we'll see. We will see. We have Sabrina, Steven, and his Speedo talking about how smooth things are going in their relationship. I think things really are just going swimmingly for these two. If I was to nitpick to find something to talk about, because there really isn't anything to talk about, I would say that sometimes when Steven talks about things and Sabrina laughs in response, it sounds like a laugh of suppression. It sounds like there's things that she wants to say, but she's not comfortable divulging it yet. So she'll do a laugh that's kind of put on like, and I'm like, I question it. Earlier in the season, I said I feel she has the potential to be an overthinker, and that could be true. But as of right now, I haven't really seen any evidence of that. So we can only go off of what we see, and it looks like things are going very well between them. Maria and Tom Maria and Tom love to gist, huh? Maria and Tom and Bobby and Jasmine. They're talking about how Katherine and Ollie ended things. On the girl's perspective, Katherine is the one who ended the relationship. On the guy's perspective, Ollie is the one who ended the relationship. So Katherine catches wind of this And she's upset because she feels like Ollie is slandering her name.
What do you feel about going to see the others tonight?
Do you reckon so if they were lined up, do you reckon you could pick them out?
I could pick out Ollie's voice. So knowing that he just like twisted my words, someone that I just didn't like that.
I just don't think that matters.
Yeah, but for me it does. I wouldn't do it to cause drama. It's just literally just out of respect to be like, hey, like, it was a bit shit what you did.
Listen, Katherine, okay? What you don't know is the man was prepared to have that conversation with you. Okay? So you might have initiated the conversation, but it was going to be a conversation nonetheless. It's interesting, too, how in the previous episode, she was like, oh, I feel like he needs closure because I just shut things down so quickly with him. No. No. But the truth of the matter is she is the one who had that conversation. So I can see why she's annoyed that the narrative is being spun in another way. But she's kind of making it bigger than it is. She's making it seem like he was out here, you know, defaming her character. Like, girl, it was not that deep. It really was not that deep. It probably is a bruised ego on both ends. He might not have wanted to admit the fact that she got to end things before he did. And she, right now, is probably feeling like, how are you going to make it seem like I was the one sacked off by you? I sacked you off, sir. I think it's both a bruised ego thing. Even Freddie made a comment like it's probably pride when it comes to Ollie. And I do agree. But I also do think that Ollie didn't say it in a malicious way at all. It was just an acknowledgement like, yeah, we ended things. No hard feelings. Let's move on. So she plans to bring up the conversation to him later on. We'll wait to get there. Demi and Ollie still have not had sex. However, I do feel like she's getting a little bit more comfortable with him. When I see them, it feels a little bit more organic, but I still have my eyes on them.
Do you have any anxiety or fears about us taking our relationship to the next level physically?
Everything is going so well. And I have this expectation that that's going to go well.
Well, obviously sex is important, but I think it's also important to, if you put too much emphasis on that, you can easily skip on all the other stuff. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to see us with other couples, but there is always outside noise, and that outside noise will come inside noise at some point.
As comfortable as they are getting, there's still a disconnect. And I noticed it in his lack of eye contact. Yes, you know, you're not gonna look the person down the entire time, but oftentimes they'll talk to each other, but they'll be looking at each other like this. I hope you can see my hands. They're not looking at each other like this. It's like they're looking through or away from. It's weird. It's a weird eye contact thing. And it sucks too because later on in the episode, he's able to fully engage in eye contact with other people, but not his fiance. Interesting. This is where I wrote something and I erased it because I was like, I think you're stretching. He proved my point later on. He said earlier in the season, I didn't really do any big romantic gestures because I feel like we're just not that kind of couple. Like, we know what it is. He then later on said, oh, we're not really engaging in the physical because our emotional connection takes precedence right now and we don't want to deter from that. We know what it is. I also feel like he's the type of guy to say, PDA and all that affection, you know what we are, you know what we have, like, we don't need to do all that, whatever. And I wrote it down and I was like, but I haven't really gotten enough evidence to say that that's Ollie's perspective. He almost verbatim said that later on. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's almost like he's priming Demi either for disappointment or to accept the bare minimum. And it sucks that Demi is in the headspace that she is because she's just gonna accept it. We'll wait to get into that conversation further. So yeah. Anyways, it's time for all the couples to see each other. Obviously, the main event is the unresolved issues between Ollie and Katherine.
With one different twist of fate, things can look very different.
I think so. Everyone's so well matched.
Trust the process. You can just talk civil. Okay, yeah?
Yeah. You kind of were saying that, you know, you called it off of me. Yeah, I called it off of Kat. It is what it is.
You kind of beat me to it, and I was kind of like relieved that we were on the same page.
100%.
If I did say that, I apologise.
Just don't chat shit about me.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Nah, but you hear what I'm coming
I ain't got
from.
nothing bad to say about you. There's a bit of good thing and a bad thing.
It's a good thing,
Cool.
but I didn't think you had one. Like, actually seeing you, I'm like, oh, okay.
When you put up, I was like, kind of what I expected you to like.
Really?
To be fair. Yeah. Katherine looked similar to what I thought she was gonna look like.
Katherine again is making it seem like Ollie was just out here tarnishing her reputation. Girl, it really was not that deep at all. Ollie can't even remember what he said, allegedly, but he apologizes. He said it wasn't his intention to make it seem like he was the driving force in the reason why their relationship ended, so fine. He then is like, oh, you look exactly how I imagined. They're having like a little baby flirt. It wasn't too concerning, but it definitely was a baby flirt. And this is where I noticed the eye contact he was able to engage in with Katherine and how different it was from how he engages in eye contact with, what's her face? Oh, Lord, what's her name now? Demi. And then this, oh, you know, we know what we are, whatever. She's trying to like hug him and he's looking over her. He's looking away from her. And I was so frustrated because he's going to spin this whole thing to say that Demi was the one being disconnected. Demi was the one whose mood changed after the conversation. But you can see in this moment right here, she is trying to be affectionate with him and he is not engaging. He's disconnected. He's distracted. I don't know if it had to do with Katherine, but Demi is obviously not inspiring him to want to be affectionate with her. Demi is trying not to let the conversation bother her, but she can't help but ask, what were y'all talking about?
How you feeling about everything?
I feel like we're the drama right now. I'm not making you feel awkward, am I?
No. Why? Why would you say that? One sec, babe. Hey, Bobby. One sec.
Yeah.
I'm back in a bit. I'm feeling like there's still something in the air. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do to address this? I just want to be cool with everyone.
Yeah, the way she was eyeing you, I thought.
That's what I thought.
I did think that. She's probably a bit all over the place after
Yeah,
that, a bit
yeah, yeah.
scrambled, because you would be.
I think when we get back to the villa, we'll be able to talk
exactly.
properly.
My jaw dropped when he walked away from Demi. I was like, sorry. Sorry. Here I am as your fiance, obviously expressing some concern over something. And instead of reassuring me, instead of taking time to disclose what was happening to quell my concerns, you want to go and talk to one of your boys? Right now? Right now? I was so upset. In this conversation with Bobby, Ollie says that things are not over between him and Katherine and that he's been seeing eyes, and Bobby with his goofy self, oh yeah, I've been seeing it too. Shut up. Okay, this is not the thing to reinforce. We're not supposed to be co-signing this behavior. But anyways, they both agree that there is still a vibe between him and Katherine. Very annoyed by it, but whatever. He then has a short conversation with Bobby about how far he has gone with Jasmine. And obviously, they've had sex at this point. Ollie says, well, it's never too soon or too late. Oh! Is that so? It's never too soon or too late? Because you, sir, have been saying it is too soon for you and Demi because you need to focus on your emotional connection. But if you were really on Demi like that, it wouldn't have been a question. You would have been knocking boots day one. I don't know Ollie like that, but that's the impression that I get from him. Y'all would have been knocking boots from day one. And let's just talk about this whole attraction thing with Demi, because I've been seeing a lot of people online talk about Demi's physique and how that is the reason why Ollie's not attracted to her. Could that be true? Sure. You like what you like. Some people like fluffy, some people like thin. It is what it is. I don't even think it's the way Demi physically looks. I think it's how she presents herself, the way that she holds her posture. Like, she actually does kind of give homegirl energy, sometimes homeboy energy. And to some guys, they need a woman that's more demure. Y'all know that trend? Very demure, very mindful, very cutesy. Like, some guys really do want that, regardless of the physique. I have seen women bigger than me who exude femininity like nobody's business, okay? Femininity doesn't have to do with your size. At least what I think. Some of y'all, anyways, that is my impression. I could also be wrong. Who knows? Moving on. I did not expect Benaiah and Nicole to be invited to Greece, but here they are, surprise, surprise. So they're talking about how good things are going, and Demi is just feeling worse and worse about her connection.
You know when you just sort of feel like something isn't just quite right?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel quite right. I had to apologise because I knew it wasn't goodbye. And then, you know, then boom.
It just felt so natural, like weirdly natural. Like,
Really, really happy and natural, just beautiful.
When we're alone, like we get to have our cuddles. When we're in group settings, I think he really struggles with showing that at times.
It must be so gut-wrenching to see everybody, literally everybody, connect in a way that you're not connecting with your man. And to add insult to injury, it's not even because they've all had sex. They're not even, Ollie and Demi are not the only couple who hasn't had sex yet, but they're the only couple whose physical connection in person is just not giving. There are other couples who are very, very public with their displays of affection, and that's fine. But her, it's not really giving. And it's not even for lack of trying. He can obviously see that she's, like her demeanor has changed, and he's not checking up on her. He's not trying to lift up her spirits or anything. And it's so frustrating. So anyways, I wrote here the whole PDA thing. He's probably one of those guys who feels like that's something that he's going to keep for himself. That could be true. But I also do think, especially after the conversation he had with Katherine, he might not want to seem like he's as invested in Demi as other people are invested in their own partners. So he could potentially leave that door open with Katherine or with anybody else. Because let's be for real, he's on television. Whether or not he becomes a huge influencer, the point is he's going to have a lot more notoriety coming off the show than coming into the show. So you might want to make it seem like, you know, you're still a free agent come the end of the season if ever somebody wants to hit up your line. You know what I'm saying? Ollie. Before bed, Katherine says that she felt some tension between her and Demi, which, yeah, what else would you expect? She was worried that Freddie would be annoyed by the conversation she had with Ollie, but he's like, listen, I'm secure in our relationship. I feel like it's a conversation that needed to happen, and now that it has, let's move on from it, period. Period. Okay. Then we have Benaiah and Nicole, who spend their first night together. They're still awkward with each other, but it's a comfortable awkwardness.
Okay, so then we'll be spooning.
Yes.
Good. Okay, that's fine.
I don't want any wandering hands from you in the middle of the night. So you don't snore?
No.
Like I said, lifestyle is the worry for me, but when it comes to these two, like, they just vibe. It just works. And I'm a person who doesn't like the spin back thing that they're doing now in Love is Blind. I feel like the point of the process is to test if love is blind. It's easy to propose to somebody after you've seen them. Like, come on, that's not fair. But now this is the third time that it's happened. They tried to do it with Aaliyah and Uche. They obviously did it with Zach and Bliss, and that's been a success. So at this point, I can't even be mad at it. It seems like Love is Blind is accepting this, so I will accept it too. I like Benaiah and Nicole so far. We'll see how far things go between them. Bobby and Jasmine are back. Oh, Bobby and Jasmine are back to gisting. You know, these two love to gist, love a little gossip. And Jasmine is irritated with Ollie on Demi's behalf, because Demi's not going to say that she's irritated.
You were telling me about Ollie. Well, you felt the same as well, that Kat was looking at Ollie. I felt like he should have had that conversation, not with you. I felt that was kind of, you know, I kind of think it's disrespectful to Demi. I mean, the eyes tell everything.
Because I could see she was getting a little bit tense.
Out of respect for Demi, I want her to be treated the best way possible, because that's what she deserves, right?
I'm glad that Bobby told Jasmine what happened in the conversation. I'm also glad that Bobby wasn't trying to cape for Ollie and make excuses for him. I'm sure Ollie's gonna be annoyed because, like, come on, bro code, like, I told you this and go, whatever, okay? This is his wife, to-be wife. They are pillow talking, okay? She's gonna get the lowdown. And I'm glad that he did that, because it enforces or reinforces whatever, the trust that they have between each other. Yeah, reinforces. Because if you're able to be forthright with me about stuff that has nothing to do with me and without me asking you, it just makes me think like, okay, this person isn't hiding things from me. And potentially if I have some concerns about our relationship, he would be just as forthright with certain information. I do like that Bobby did that. And I like that he acknowledges the fact that Ollie isn't really handling this the best way. He could have easily said, well, you know, the process is overwhelming and you never know. Ollie asks Demi what's up with her. I was so annoyed because I'm like, is it not you who's being off with her, sir?
Oh, I just felt weird.
I just want to make
but
sure you're
I need to like let you know why I'm annoyed. But I was trying not to like, I don't really want to zoom into that, but there was like a lot of laughter.
I'm a funny guy. But it wasn't flirty laughter, that's what you're thinking. It was nothing like that. You did go a bit quiet.
Should I not? Yeah, but what am I supposed to do? You don't know what was said, you don't know how they were feeling because you weren't there. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, but it's not fine in my head.
This man is just giving F-boy, 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 F-boy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. There was an obvious attempt at the beach from Demi. There was an obvious attempt to like build some connection between them, to be affectionate and stuff, and he wasn't reciprocating. And you're gonna ask her why things are off with her? She tried to talk to him after the conversation he had with Katherine. Granted, she took a little bit of time, but still, she brought up the conversation and he left the conversation. And you're asking what's off with her? You're saying she's off with you? Don't piss me off. Oh my gosh. Like, don't piss me off. He obviously was not flirting in a very explicit way, but he acknowledged that there were some eyes being given to Katherine and Katherine giving to him. So, like, Demi has the right to feel off. She has every right to feel off. This could be a reach, but I like reaching, okay? I feel like Ollie has clocked the fact that Demi gets down on herself a little bit, and Demi has a tendency to overthink and be self-deprecating and stuff. So it's easy for him to put the onus on Demi because she will accept it. She'll pick it up. He will put it down on her and she will pick it up. And I'm just like, you know you're in the wrong here. You know you haven't been navigating it correctly based on the information we are given as viewers. But you also know if I say like, oh, you're kind of off with me, she'll just accept it. She'll say, yeah, you know what? I could have done better. I could have. Demi, girl, I'm gonna need you to stand up, okay? I'm gonna need you to stand up. In this case, you literally have every right to be a little frustrated with this man. Every right. And she later on talks about her lack of communication, like how that's been a struggle for her and stuff. Valid. I get that. But you need to have a firmer hand when it comes to Ollie because he is taking you for a mick right now. And it's actually insane to watch. Insane to watch. We'll see how things pan out in the next episode. Ollie, when I catch you, I swear. Oh! Anyways, as always, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.